UT, Jed served as president of the Texas Cowboys and founded Cole Niels & Co., a startup for custom apparel delivery that has grown to 5 employees. Jed continues to lead this company strategically from afar, using it as a platform for mentoring undergraduate students interested in running a startup of their own.
After graduation, Jed worked for McKinsey & Company, the world's leading management consulting firm, where he focused on operational excellence for public companies and government clients. In the midst of managing a startup and a full-time job at McKinsey, Jed acted on his passion for the Waco community by co-founding a real estate venture focused on Baylor student housing. In the summer before starting at Stanford Business School, Jed worked with Tom Hicks Private Equity Group in Dallas, helping them evaluate operational improvements for their existing portfolio companies. Jed is now in a dual degree program, splitting his time between Stanford's Graduate School of Business and the Harvard Kennedy School of Government. He will graduate in May of 2018 with a Master's in Business Administration from Stanford and a Master's in Public Policy from Harvard.
After school, Jed hopes to return to Central Texas to pursue his dream of enhancing communities through the strategic use of equity investments in both private businesses and public and private real estate partnerships.
This a little bit, make sure you aren't dozing off back there. Thank you so much for that introduction. This is awesome. This is awesome. Class of 2017, thank you so much for having me. Before I start, I want to address the elephant in the room. Aren't graduation speakers supposed to be famous? I mean, they should at least have gray hairs and have some rich life experiences. My roommates probably said it best. Jed, you don't have a house. You don't have a car. You don't have a job. I mean, I'm still sending mail to my mom and dad's house. But I'm kind of used to not fitting the mold. Last fall at Harvard, I was wearing jeans and boots to class one day. And they asked me why I, a member of the construction staff, was in the student dining hall. So given my life stage, it's a little daunting the thought of trying to provide all of you with any kind of advice. But reflecting on it, tonight is not about me at all. It's about all of you. It's about your achievements. It's about this awesome journey that you're completing. But preparing for this speech did give me a great chance to reflect on all my fun memories from Vanguard. And it reminded me of this awesome tradition we used to have senior year. We're coming back from lunch, we would start roadblocks. So as soon as we turn off Valley Mills, it's down to 10 miles an hour all the way back to school. We're gonna be late to class, so is everybody else. And it was working perfectly. By the time we were at Jaworski, we had 30 or 40 cars lined up behind us, honking, trying to get around us. And we thought we were geniuses. We were. Shows how smart I was back then that I didn't think I would get caught driving a huge red car at the front of the line every time. So it all came crashing down when I got called into Mr. Borg's office, and he gave me the classic, "Young man, what were you thinking?" We take great pride in what we do here at Vanguard. Rigor, respect, and responsibility. Now, I couldn't quite figure out why he was so worked up. He normally doesn't really sweat the small stuff. And then I realized, of all the people that could have told on us that day, we had roadblocked the mayor of Waco. Are you kidding? What are the odds of that? So realizing my fate in detention that next week was sealed, I figured I'd try a Hail Mary. So I just looked at him and said, "Mr. Borg, do you not agree that our esteemed mayor deserves a motorcade?" He did not agree. I'm clearly very proud to have orchestrated Waco's first ever mayoral motorcade. But as I reflect on my time at Vanguard, it's so much more than just the fun memories. It's how well prepared you are now for college. It's all the teachers and faculty here that have treated you like family for the past 6 years. And it's this tight-knit community that you will have for the rest of your life that make Waco, and specifically Vanguard, such a special place. Now, before I go any further, I want to give you all a second. Go ahead and find your parents in the crowd. Lock eyes with them for a bit. And just realize how big this moment is for them. They are so, so, so proud of you. And it's without their sacrifice, none of us would be here. So let's take a second and give our folks a round of applause. Parents, thank you so much. So I'm really not that much older than all of y'all. 8 years ago, I was sitting on the left side of the stage. So I want to use this time tonight to tell you what I wish I would have known sitting in your shoes. And that is this. Try something new every single week. Now, Winston Churchill said this quote, and I love it. Life begins at the end of our comfort zone. And don't get me wrong, as a senior in high school, I would have rolled my eyes, one at the quote, but also at the joker that was trying to quote Winston Churchill. But in the past 8 years, I really have found this to be true. I didn't always practice what I'm preaching. I'll admit, in high school, I was a total creature of habit. I went to Schmaltz every day for lunch, the same small group of friends, ordered plain ham and cheese every single time. Things were going well. Why fix what's not broken? And here it would be easy for me to do the thing where I look at every risk and new experience I've tried in the past 8 years, and I cherry pick the one or two that turned out very best and use those to try to explain why you too should take risks and try new things. I'm not going to do that. I'm not telling you that all risks turn out well, but they all have an opportunity to learn something. And my sophomore year at UT was a perfect example of what I was willing to learn by trying new things. So when I got to UT, my comfort zone was sports. So I wanted so badly to get involved in the UT athletic department. If nothing else can be said, that year I was relentless. So, attempt number 1 to get involved with athletics. Join the women's basketball practice squad. As Coach Curtis can attest, a practice squad is definitely the closest I should ever be to a college athlete. Those girls kicked my butt every day at practice. And for all the bumps and bruises, my reward, a free pair of sneakers. No status, no love, no fans, some sneakers. But my time with that basketball team did introduce me to the head of the marketing department. And he was looking for someone to lead promotions at the sporting events. I thought, great. Attempt number 2. I applied. And I was expecting to get a snazzy burnt orange polo and run around running the halftime show. I was awfully surprised when I showed up my first day and was handed the Chick-fil-A cow suit. I mean, that is unbelievable. My parents came down to watch me work one time and could not find me. So by day, I'm a practice dummy, and then at night, I'm a cow. This is a perfect example of what my dad used to tell me. Jed, the only job you start at the top is digging a hole. Now you would think at this point, I would have gotten the hint that my future at the athletic department just probably was over, but no. Of course not. I saw a flyer for open tryouts for the football team. Despite never having played football in my life, attempt number 3, I tried out for punter. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't have the audacity to try out for Baylor, because they're a good football team. But Texas, surely someone like me. I'm positive I still hold the record for UT's shortest football tryout ever. 20 minutes in, they knew. I actually managed to get cut from a kicking tryout without ever kicking a football. And all these new experiences, they pushed me well outside of my comfort zone. I tried some new things, I failed, suffered some minor embarrassments, but I survived. And through these new things, I was introduced to the Texas Cowboys. Attempt 4 was finally a success. I ended up becoming the president of Cowboys and, more importantly, meeting some of my closest friends in college. So through all this, I learned, one, just how not to take myself too seriously, but also to appreciate the unexpected twists in the road. It all started with just trying something new. Now, throughout my time at Texas and then working at McKinsey, I certainly met a lot of people with different backgrounds than mine. But it was never more true than when I got to Stanford. When I got there, I had very, very few friends that were not American. And now I'm in a class with 40% international. I was forced to hang out with people that I had nothing in common with. And I learned that I love it. I was getting to try new things on an entirely different playing field. And that's how I found myself diving into a class called Touchy-Feely. Yeah, did you just say touchy-feely? I did. And my new thing that week was to sign up for Touchy-Feely. That meant 4 hours once a week in a room with 12 students with the entire purpose to talk about uncomfortable topics and how those make us feel. That's it. It's the entire class. I was extremely uncomfortable the whole time. I was thinking back, last time I felt this far out of my comfort zone was my junior year Winter Glitter, where I thought it'd be a good idea to ask my date by standing in her front yard in front of her entire family and singing my own rendition of Nat King Cole. That's how awkward this class is. The exercise I remember most, our homework is called the influence line, where you're to go home and rank the 12 people in the class from least to most influential. And then when you get to class, you're asked to position people physically in the room based on your order. So you're physically taking someone by the shoulders and walking them to the end of the line, saying to them that, to you, they're the least influential person in the room. And then the same thing happens to you. I mean, how in the world do you sit next to those people at lunch next day? And everything in this class is fair game. From opportunities that are afforded to different races, to what some of our group mates were working through with their families. These aren't comfortable topics for anyone. One woman in our group who, on almost every dimension, was different than myself. I mean, she's not a Texas football fan, and that's the least of our differences. But I really, really liked her. And she's an incredible person. And that's why it was especially striking and impactful when she told me, Jed, I'm not sure we could ever have a very deep relationship just from harmful experiences that I've had in the past with people who talk like you, act like you, and look like you. And she admitted this is not a fair judgment of me, but she couldn't help that it was her natural reaction. That I could have a negative impact on someone, not because of anything I've said or done, but just because of the way I look or where I'm from, was eye-opening to me. And it made me realize that a lot of the power and influence I have, I was given at birth. I didn't earn it. This realization completely changed my perspective. The impact that I'm having on other people has almost nothing to do with my performance or my accomplishments. I think Maya Angelou said it best. People will forget what you say, and they will forget what you do, but they will never forget how you make them feel. So embrace what scares you. Run towards the things that make you uncomfortable. Find creative ways to broaden your horizons. Tactically, what I'm saying, try something new every single week. Regardless of sex, race, or creed, you now all have the privilege of a top-notch education. But this peak you've summited only affords you a better view of the many taller peaks that are lying ahead. So my challenge to you is this. Will you take risks? Are you willing to leave your comfort zone? Will you leverage the power that you have by inviting people that are unlike you to share in your privilege? Why is making a half-court shot more rewarding than a free throw? Because it's way harder. You're way more likely to fail. When you do make it, it is so much cooler. Life experiences are no different. As JFK said, we put a man on the moon not because it was easy, but precisely because it was hard. And the same is true for trying new things. You don't try new things because they're easy and comfortable. You do it because of the incredible learning that you pick up along the way. So as I wrap up, I'll leave you with this. Even if you could take on this next life stage, risk-free and with no setbacks, I don't think anyone here would wish that for you. Probably quite the opposite. Failure is the currency of success. And trying new things is the currency of growth. So I hope you are leaving Vanguard challenged to try new things, motivated to find a job that you're willing to dress up as a cow for. I hope you leave excited to empower others and confident enough to laugh at the roadblocks that you encounter along the way. Because after all, it might just be a kid trying to give you a motorcade. Class of 2017, congratulations.
Jed, I'm not sure what to say. But I do remember the story. And your quick thoughts and your brass approach to trying to get out of it probably shows why you're in a double master's at Stanford and Harvard. That was marvelous. We can all take heart to what you said. All of us. Thank you so much.